Casino Lodge and Convention Center, Hayward. LCO.
My name is Rusty Barber. And at this time, we were given the honor last year to carry this Eagle Staff, the Honor to Earth Family Memorial Eagle Staff. And each feather on this Eagle Staff represents a family here on Oreilles that had somebody that played in a significant part of who we are as Anishinaabe people here on Oreilles. And today's honor is that we're going to pass this Eagle Staff on to another family here today. And I have here my family, my brothers, my siblings, nieces and nephews, to do a giveaway in our father's memory. Russell James Barber. His Indian name was Bushwagon. Buckskin. My father knew the language. He didn't use it all the time. He always says, "You go talking." He was a logger. Worked in the woods as a young man. Heavy equipment operator. The LCO development, and also in the cities and the unions. He was also a bus driver here for our school. My father loved children, his grandchildren, his nieces, nephews, and all the young people that went to the school here at Oreilles. He would always tease, as a lot of our elders used to do, tease one another. My father loved to hunt. And during the Honor to Earth, such as now, he would be out there hunting. Jim Miller and Bill Cadott, and Stoney, and all the other ones that played a part to contribute to the Honor to Earth. He was here at the first powwow, and he left us in 2005. And everybody that knew him took a little piece of him in because he had a good humor. He always teased. And he'd never get mad. And so at this time I want to call up a man here that knew my father and have him say a few words. And that's Mr. Bobby Williams. Come on up. His children here present is Ricky Barber. Nobody knows him by Ricky. Who's Ricky? Everybody knows him as Bean. My sister Dowie. My brother Terry. My sister Melanie. Not present today. My brother Daniel. My other brother Thomas. All my nieces and nephews here. So at this time I want to turn this over to Bobby.
Okay,
good morning. I'd like to bid you all a good day. And I remember a lot of times coming over here to LCO in the past years. Buck was a good friend of mine. I remember a lot of good stories about LCO through him and his family. A very proud traditional family here in LCO. Very proud of their traditional teachings and the traditional way of life that they all strive to attain here. Also that this giveaway here this afternoon for Bushquagan, to remember what he stood for in all those things that we all try to attain. Buck was, he went out of his way for a lot of people. And that's how I remember him. He would put down his things that he was doing, and he would go and help someone, be it at racing time, deer hunting. Any time that somebody needed something, Buck was the one they called on, and he did the best he could with what he had. He gave you what he had. And I remember a lot of times in the different stories from the different families here in LCO, from the Cadat family to the Sewers to all the people from over in Whitefish, and that they always remember that Nitawas, or our brother, would help out in the best way he could. So I was given some tobacco by Rusty to speak for these gifts, and this is one thing that was reminded of us yesterday and the days previous, that when you give gifts, you usually put some tobacco down, and you have someone speak for those gifts upon on giving this what we call a gami giveaway, to give things away in remembrance. To remember someone or something. So I'm going to talk in our language, this Ojibwe Moen. I'm going to ask the Creator and His helpers to kindly look this way for a little bit, to recognize this family as to what they're doing, and our uncle, our brother, our relative, our father. He looks down from above, from one of these clouds that passes over, and in doing so he's smiling on this family today, because they always look through that window to see if that family's doing what was taught to them or told to them to take care of. And so Rusty and through this tobacco is doing that this afternoon, and what we call a minot chagewa, to do good things. So I'm going to give a prayer here in our language, a prayer that was given to me by another man from over this direction, man by the name of Fred Benjamin. Really helped me out in teaching and sitting me down and setting me straight, in other words. And I really appreciate those old timers for what they've done for us and what they have left to us to take care of. So may gwetchen in the way magani nanek. Bojo, where's the shkun shinakade ka oh. Waswaganing and donjaba. Oh makwan de dema. Tipimini ko yan au sema. Kavene kuziwa ta oh. Bashkwegan. Shinakade givenadan. Oda zaganing. Oda was zaganing. Anishanabe. Ya oh, pitapinewa no sema ni widi o wabanam. Kaya natkanok tananago kadapinewa to oh. Ito oh, ishkuma sunani kuyo damiyawad. Ito oh shkwan demi wan. Ni gwetchen na wendana mi kumina oh. Joina missionanga oh wabanam. Kakinago, mi gwetchigeya na oh, ni gwetchen na wendam. Ito mashuma sunanik. Ito komisananik. Without an hour the old sema. With a show, when it is Shagai or Sa, O Jawanum, and the canoe to Nonago without an away out the old seaman, Kika, make way out the O, the squeak and the O, Asian Akadic, and dash. Used to go in the Pegish O, upon it. Kino. In the way man, Joanna Missionang, all got kinna, So bisa tawad no, wita pa kami sa iyo yan, shinabe we win da shagay we win. Yo go here we do mashuma sanane we da panawad o seman. Minoa go. We don't shinabe, mas kujikat. We go here namad. We do mashuma sanane kinawaba mao. Apane wat. We went to go we do. Dapat na way I don't know, sema. Kakinegego oh. Kakinawa to oh. Minawago siwa to oh. Oh Courte. Minawa we come in the moye out. Odo ni shanabe God. Chapimini goya na oh. Odo shanabe wat inde chige wat. Minawa yachiga oh. Igwechawu in the window of our son. Oye manito minawa over the bojo minawa with the oshkabes ekene jego ma me kweche kiao da pano ya mino Sleiman ya oh with you make away what oh shanabe what you go ekene jego man me kweche ni the wenda mongo ishmene ya da oh benese manito minawa de kese manito ya sugo in the way marketing nanik in the house of duck. We're gonna always in the cottage, we're in it. In which if they are in the way Margaret and oh, to be in the Guya now, stay man. In which in the way Margaret, we will go visit the house here. You.
Good, Bob. My father, our father, his father was Bill Barber, and his mother was Ollie Benton. And I have one of his cousins here today. And I remember a story. My dad liked to tell stories. I'd go over sometimes early in the morning. And this individual I'm talking about had a dog. And everybody saw that dog and give it something to eat. You know, and fattened it up a little bit. And finally the ceremonies came. I think he sat down in Whitefish. And somebody asked him if they'd seen his dog lately. He said, no. And he says, well, it tasted good. And I'd like to call him up right now, and that's Eddie McBurney, his way we done, a cousin to my dad. Come up and say a few words.
Away mga ganito. Kainin ko anyway, kanuna manido. Kaya kaya sinikaso daan din away mga ganito. Baspuigin sinikaso. Ang gayong ka. Yaw kainin desyo ka. Kaya na away mag. Igago na shime. Ja, diese Dappen mit Yoga können auch aber bei den Demang even basic I know I mangit ja basic swim but I know mama and Ollie is in a casa. Beso ende diese buque in caso da imede with a yon de no way magan ya ne mama yawan in the magan Bashwagan, he calls him. Kali Bashwangdom, he calls him. Bashwagan, he calls him. Ano dash ko when say mga shikashimen when the or the doctor the answer. Majakan on shime dash. I'm standing here with my nieces, my nephews, my grandchildren. As you might, some of you might know, Buck and I were first cousins. We grew up together in the Round Lake area. And there's a lot of stories that I like to remember, and even driving along sometimes I remember some of the stuff we done, and I can't help but be happy about that, and then be laughing as I'm driving along, remembering some of the things that we did. We had a step-grandfather, his name was Paul Carroll, and he was quite a trader, that Indian man. Couldn't speak English very well, but he was a real trader. He was a real go-getter that way. He used to have horses, and he always managed to trade somebody for horses. He always had different horses every year. So one spring he brought home a brown, black, and white pinto pony. That pony must have been couldn't have been any more than a year old, and Grandpa Paul brought him home, and he melded in with the other horses that were there. The other grown horses we could pretty much coax and catch, and we could ride them. But that little pony hadn't been broken in for riding yet. And one day the horses got away, and Grandpa Paul, he sent us out towards the mailbox. I don't know how he knew that that's where the horses were, but that's where they were. He said, "Go get them." And in his broken English, he said, "Go get horses." So Dick took a can of oats with him. He said, they'll come for this. So we caught them out there by the mailbox on the highway B there. That's about a mile from where we live. So somehow they talked me into, this is Dick and Buck. Dick was the youngest of us. I wanted him to ride that young unbroken pony. But somehow we got together there, and we were flipping coins. All we had was pennies. We was flipping coins about who was going to ride that unbroken pony to the house. And said, okay, two of the same kind will ride the old horses, and the different one will ride the little one. So we flipped, and I couldn't turn my penny over quick enough. I had the tail. So I said, well, you guys help me get on him anyway. So anyway, they got me on him, and that little pony was standing pretty still there while the guys jumped on the other horses. As soon as they took off, that little pony started bucking, and I had the can, somehow I had the can in my hand. That little pony was bucking, and pretty soon that can went up in the air and hit me on the head 3 or 4 times. And I fell off, and as they were turning the corner, they looked back and they were laughing just hard. I remembered my cousin Dick. Every time Buck and I pulled something on him, he'd always do the same thing. His smile would stop, and then he'd hang his head and he'd say, "Someday, someday." So Buck and I, we lived in Round Lake for a long time. We grew up there. It was really different there when we grew up there. We knew where all the graves were. Today nobody knows that there are graves there. It kind of saddens me because, you know, people party there, and for some reason the electric company came through there and set up set up the telephone poles there. I don't know who allowed that because it was right in line with those graves. It always makes us sad that way. But Buck and Dick, their mothers were both Benton, and my aunts in that way. We grew up knowing that we were very closely related, but we treated each other as brothers all the time. I want to tell you one more story that I always remember, and always makes me feel good and brings me a laugh. We all entered the army at about the same time, but I got shipped off to a different place, and they didn't enter the army as soon as I did. But I was in Fort Breckenridge, Kentucky, and I got sent to Fort Sheridan for reassignment. There's about 4 months in between time. So I was coming through the trial hall there, this big long line of soldiers, and I was standing in line just like I am, and I'm looking down how far it is to where the food is yet. And I saw these 4 guys sitting there, and they were smiling and they were waving. And I kind of looked around to see who they were waving at, because I didn't recognize them. And they were laughing and talking, and they're pointing at me too, or at least pointing my way. I didn't recognize them until I got right up to them, like from ear to beanie. I didn't recognize them because they had their head all shaved off. that really made me laugh, you know. So, that always made us laugh. There was Dickie, Buck, Dale Isham, there's Dale, there's another guy from Cass Lake, all sitting there with their shaved heads. That always brought me a good laugh. I want to tell you another one about Grandpa Paul. He was really strict with his boats. He had boats and his horses. And somehow we'd always manage to let those horses loose, and then we'd catch them while riding. But one time he had something to do, Paul had something to do, something to haul somewhere, and so he sent us to go and retrieve the horses again. And when we got back, it must have been about 2 hours late. And so he says to Buck, "Again, who told you to steal hops?" Yeah, I always remember that. But anyway, I want to talk about it a little bit. We did a lot of things together as children, but we did a lot of things together as we grew up too. One of the things that we both always believed in is our Medewan ways, and all of us were Medewan. One of the things that Dickie had, he had a really good memory. He had a good memory for songs. He had a good memory for prayers and teachings. And some of you who remember him, he was always appreciating and helping at funerals. So he always had a good memory, and Buck always listened to him. I mean, when we'd sit down and talk together, we'd always talk about that. So we have to remember these things because it's the way that our people were buried. And I always appreciate that. And I always appreciate remembering both of them, my cousin brothers, because that's the way we were. We were big drum people, and we were Medewan people. We all entered the United States Army. We served the best we could. And we never really parted. When I was the director St. Paul American Indian movement, Buck and Bob and his children, including Rusty, moved to St. Paul and attended the Red Schoolhouse. Buck was an avid supporter of the American Indian movement there. So I have fond memories, I have great memories of my cousin Buck. I'm really proud of my nieces and nephews and my nieces and being here to stand up and honor their father, respect their father that way. I'd like to, if there's a hand drum close by, if someone has a hand drum, I want to sing to them the Barber Oreilles song. If anybody has a hand drum they could bring up, I'd like to do that. It's a song that we were given to remember, and I want to pass this on so that the children will hear it and hopefully will use it in ceremonies someday. James is running after a hand drum over at the post stand, but in the meantime, if you want to do some other things, Rusty.
You wish, Uncle? My father's brother was, his oldest brother was Franklin. Old Buck, yeah. And Uncle Franklin, he liked to enjoy himself, you know. Smoke some cigarettes, drink a little bit of Powwow. And my dad, okay, of course, you know, as he got older, he quit all that stuff. No, but, well, as it goes, as you go along, okay, you start preaching. And that's the way my dad was. You look at him, and my uncle, and he say, you ought to quit smoking, you ought to quit drinking, and you'll live longer. Here my uncle Franklin lived 2 or 3 years longer than he did. But he also had a brother named Ernest. That young man at 18. Never got to know him. I've only seen one picture. We've seen only one picture of our Uncle Ernest. But he also had a sister, Laura Mishgad, over in Swagging. And about her, she was a drum owner. And over there, they have her drum in the museum. It was taken at one time and took down to the State Historical Society, and they just assembled it. So I never put it back into active, brought it back to what it be. But they said the way of the life then on these drums was that, especially a lady's drum, those owners, he said, I don't even know how they enjoyed themselves. They were constantly sewing blankets or getting ready for the next dance, and they sounded them every week. So it took a special person to do that. And I just wanted to relay that much. Here.
I'm going to ask my relatives here to listen to the song. This is a song that your grandmother carried. She carried an Oreilles drum that came from the First World War. I still remember the image that was painted on that drum. I told my cousin a lot of times he should restore that and reactivate that because it belongs to the family. I'd like to sing this song on behalf of all of my cousins, as Rusty has mentioned. I know them very well. I know Franklin as being the oldest one, and ironically we call him Old Buck. I can see him smiling now as he listens to us from over there. I'd like to sing this song for the family. These Oreilles songs were very special. These drums were very special, and
I still maintain 3 of our drums, as well as all of the songs.
At this time, we're going to the giveaway. We have quite a few names here. You'll come up, pick out an item, you'll come along here and take a pinch of tobacco. The family will be standing here. So at this time, I'd like to call on the first person, Mr. Steve Thayer. Thank you. My dad would say. Gene Thayer. Brad Thayer. Janae Thayer. Willard Gouget. Bonnie Corbine. Mick. Mike Sullivan. Nelson Barber. Lee Barber. Brian Delpass. Bubby Barber. Lonnie Barber. Daryl John Barber. Charlene Barber. Sheila Barber. Darla Thayer. Richard the Postman Burns. Ray the President Burns. Auntie Rose Burns. All the way from Tama, Iowa, Dennis Young Bear. Man, that guy got me in a lot of trouble. Dennis Young Bear, holy cat. Valerie Barber. Rose Barber Manano. Oh yeah, Ruth Barber Manano. Uncle Eddie. Carrie Buckskin Benton. Leonard Quagan Jr. Bernice Begay. Eugene Begay Jr. Paula Begay. Kathy Begay. John Begay. Dan Begay. Tish Begay Taylor. Ojibwe, Cheryl Corbine, Johnny Boy Corbine, Rusty Corbine, Selma Corbine, Dwayne Corbine, Marvin Corbine, Anna Corbine, Rodney Corbine Jr., Shirley Barber, Anita Barber, Paul Barber, Teresa Barber, Doll Thompson, Lori Thompson, Gosh Kabash, Julie Barber Taylor, Denise Barber Nelson, Robert Butt Barber, Dino Barber, Selma Buckwheat, Hank Smith, Don Smith, Lawrence Smith, John Smith, Jerry Smith, Jim Smith Sr., Carolyn Naquinavy, Doris Naquinavy, Thelma Naquinavy, Larry Long, Bill Cadat, Jackie Cadat, Stoney Larson, Louis White, Duck White, Roger Baker, Jim Gouze, Scotty Panas, Lorraine Ledbetter, Tom Miller, Dorothy Miller, Jim Miller, Elaine Miller, Cindy Miller, Rick Miller, George Boyle, Bonnie Boyle, Chuck Boyle, Mick Boyle, Robin Boyle, Misty Boyle, Forrest Rose Hamilton, Roxanne Enoch, Elizabeth Enoch, Samantha Enoch, Glenn Enoch, Carl Miller, Carla Miller, Julie Snow, Barbara Kappa, Billy Blackwell, Danny Seaboy, Boy Ladd, Tony Bender, Eugene Big Boy, Tom Connors, Nagit Connors, Dale Paul, Rose Paul, Lee Staples, Dora Hammond, Tony Hammond, Dan Mosaic, Tommy Steros, Gary Courte Sr., Gary Courte Jr., Jerry Miller, Al Promo, Dave the Dog Dennis, Jim Dennis, George Morrow Sr., Boone Grover, Arnie Rice, Jim Kingfisher, Richie Holland, Andy Spencer, Jesse Spencer, Donna LeSueur, Stacy Hammond, Gloria Boyle, and Debbie Graves. My dad knew a lot of people, and these are just a few at 126. And as we say, you know, as we go older and we get more life experiences, the more people we know. And the people remember what you contribute and what you do in your life. And how you are remembered. And I often think, that, they always talk about that God gave that everlasting life. And that's how I think that's how, in my own belief, that's how it's done, what you do in your life, and how you treat people. And then when things like this go on, that the list grows. And we asked that the Badgers, they've been catching heck all weekend sometimes, and wherever they go. Badgers and Drum has been together since late 60s, early 70s. They once had a proud name called Monkey Meat Singers. And that's important. They don't give away canned spam anymore at the mod shop. That's thing of the past now, So they were named after a can of that stuff. And it's all good. And so if anybody isn't present today, just let them know that we have a gift for them. And, I was given advice by my sister. We want everyone that came from far away, another reserve, Minnesota, Michigan, Canada, to come up here and get a gift on behalf of our father, Persuaded. So, all our visiting relatives here, come out and get something. I'm going to give you a little gift to remember. Oh, hold on a second now. That's strawberry. Packers only. Maybe that's what I said. Packer fans only. I just shook hands with a couple of my aunties from up north way, First Nations, Canada. Glad they're here with us here today. We got Canada, here we go again, yeah. Oh, we got a Green Bay fan from down there. No? Oh, Boudouadami. If you ever get an opportunity to go down to Courte, they built a brand new dance arena down there. Oh, state of the art. Sometime in August. Yeah, our father was a Green Bay Packer fan. He loved the Packers. No one could beat the Packers. Talk about the Bart Starr days. And, matter of fact, the great coach, Vince Barber. Yeah. Oh, back in the day, Vince Barber. Yeah, my father was a member. He was a third degree today, and he was also we'll get to that chief on the Wagon. Here's the honor with the Wagon. Here's the honor with the man.
Maybe they have a whole set. We had one set.
Yeah, he was real proud of the family. We were growing up, we always danced under the powwows. My brother canned eggs and wild rice, do all kinds of things. And he was real really proud, you know, that everyone, nieces and nephews were dancing, trying to lead that good life. The whole family resides down in the Round Lake, the new Barber town they call it. The old Barber town is located up here off of, in between K and E, north of Sweden's, in between the Courte development and Sweden's, the old Barber town. And on the map there you can see they named the bay, Barber Town Bay, Barber Bay. Okay, at this time, have some elders come down here and pick out a gift. Visiting elders. Visiting elders, please come on down and get something out of this giveaway here. We have a lot of stuff. Traditional dancers, come on down and get something. Visiting drums, come on up and get something. Visiting drums. If there's nothing left over there, take the tarp. Brand new tarps. You can spread your monoman on there this fall. Hey Myron, is side-to-side bobbers here today? Anybody want the tarps? The tarps here, brand new.
We've got stacks of stuff.
Okay, we're going to be going over to the Oreilles Badgers for the appropriate honoring song here. My brother is going to sit here with the Eagle staff as we go around. And after we get done with that, we're going to do a staff change to the next family that will carry that on for the next year. And it's been an honor and a privilege on behalf of the family of our father, Schwagen. And also I just want to mention my mother joined him all the good way. And I can just hear my mom just saying, when she sees him, she goes, jeez. But yeah, my dad was always there for us on birthdays or whatever special occasion. My mother, you know, they got along in that way, Indian way. They put their differences aside for their family. And everybody should do that. So, Oreilles Badgers, give us that song. Okay, where's my Uncle Terry? Where's my brother Terry at? Okay, at this time, we're going to add the feather onto the eagle staff here.
Yeah, right after everybody headed out, man, so we brought it up. Oh, man, I think I know what that is. I kept it with me last night.
Very good, very good.
Battery die?
Okay, at this time we'd like the Jean Begay family to come up. The sons and daughters of Eugene Begay, Naganagabo. My dad and Gene got along real well in life. They were both members of the Big Drum here on Courte. And so after some consultation here with the family, we'd like the family representative that's going to carry on the staff, please come up. What's your name?
David Dinasha.
Dave Dinasha is going to be the representative that'll carry this Honor to Earth Family Memorial Eagle staff into 2014.
Indian name is Nijude.
Wow. At this time, board Barber will now pass tradition onto your family, carrying good way. Thank all of the Eugene Begay, British Begay family for being here today. We wish you share that in the street. Thank you for being patient. I know sometimes these things get long, but it's very important that we remember and that we do. There's no time limit on the ceremony. And the ceremony gets done. So thank you. Be good.